What is going on, guys? It's Noah here with Custom RC Mods. Welcome back to a new video. In today's episode, we've got the FT Simple Cub on the workbench, and as you can see, it's had some better days. It's pretty beat up down here, but either way, it's gotta go. I don't really like this plane. If you guys have watched my recent flight and review videos, you know that I was pretty critical on it, and I'm pretty serious about that. I don't think if I was a beginner, I'd want to fly this plane, especially with my experience and knowledge I've now gained from it. That's why I made that review video, was so I could toss it out the window and I won't have it in my fleet anymore. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and scrap this, use the electronics inside to build the FT Simple Scout, which is a plane that I actually learned on when I was just starting out. It's an excellent platform. This is going to be like my 5th or 6th time building this FT Simple Scout right here. Printed off all my plans. It's going to be a pretty efficient build, especially since I have some experience with this that I've done before. So yeah, let's just go ahead, waste no time, get right in the build. We're going to use all the same electronics as this FT Simple Cub did, of course. And if you're willing to give this thing a try, please go ahead, prove me wrong. There's a good airplane in the comments section below, but I just really don't like the flight characteristics of it. But anyway, let's go ahead and head up to the GoPro for the time lapse. Alright, so as you can see, we finished up the build for the FT Scout. It is the next day, and it took a little bit longer than I expected to, but I started late last night, and it's about 10 a.m. today, so not too bad at all. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Put in a little bit of extra time to make it look my best. As you guys heard, I have built quite a few of these things before, and I wanted this one to be the best one I've built yet, and I think we've reached that point on this build. Anyway, let's just go through some build notes. As always, there are some things that I do differently, as well as some little gripes I have with the designs. But first things, what I did differently, you can see that my elevator and rudder servo placement, is different. They normally tell you to mount them in the fuselage, like up towards the wing here. But I always mount them back on the elevator, just so that it will be shorter, so I don't have to find such long push rods. I can just use like paper clips or whatever I have lying around. Then also I have a different battery door or receiver door system right here. You can see normally there's just a cutout where you shove your receiver in. I mounted my receiver to the inside wall right here. You have all your tabs and pins right accessible to you. Your antennas are hanging out of the airplane, and you can easily mount your satellite outside of the airplane, as well as it has a nice finished look when it's not in use. So that's a nice little modification you can do to change up the little holes and make them doors. I also, of course, added durability tape on the bottom, as well as just it helps with orientation in general. I do this on a lot of my planes. You'll notice that that's kind of my theme. We got black tape on the wings and aluminum tape on the fuselage, and I really like how it looks. Also, speaking of really liking how it looks, I love this turtle deck, and this is one of the easier turtle decks in the flight desk fleet to put together. It's kind of like the Mustang was, but this one, the foam board that I use is a little bit thicker. For some reason, my black foam board doesn't tend to like crinkle as much. So yeah, it was a really good experience for me to get this together and kind of button up the top of this. But overall, it's really clean, like I said. And the electronics, one thing I do want to mention is I changed out my receiver from the Cub. And if you guys have been following along with that, you know that I had a lot of brownouts and ended up being a lot of crashes due to that weren't actually the fault of the airframe. But yeah, so I changed it out for a Lemon RX receiver with satellite, and hopefully that will improve the consistency of the signal, and I can take that old receiver and put it on a less important project. But this is the FT Simple Scout, and I really like how it turned out. Just in terms of controls, we've got our ailerons, we've got our elevator, we've got our rudder, and then we've got our throttle. And I'm running a 9x47 slow fly just like I did on the Cub. It's a very, very nice prop for this setup because it's nice and smooth and it doesn't take away, that smoothness just to get you guys extra power. Another thing we have on here is flapper-ons. So you can see I have 2 notches of flaps to work with if I want to, but this is a super slow plane anyway. It can fly really well, has great stall characteristics, so you can slow it down really easily. It doesn't even need flaps. I'm just messing around with it since I have dual ailerons set up on this plane. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Another little note I want to make, on previous scouts, if you guys have seen the channel, I have made a landing gear reinforcement mod that makes a cross member between these 2 wires. I took that off because I realized that the rigidity here was causing the flex having to have to come from the fuselage rather than the flex coming from here, and then the fuselage would be fine. So on my last few Scouts and Cubs and things like that, they used this landing gear. It kept eating right into the fuselage whenever I had a hard landing or crash, and this time it's just going to go ahead and bend out of the way. And that's what this is designed for. It's not designed to give you perfect landing gear and tracking when you're on the ground. It's just designed to flex and be durable overall in the long run and not hurt the rest of your airplane when you have a little bit of a hard landing. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the FT Scout build and initial thoughts. If you guys have any questions about this airplane or RC in general, make sure to go ahead and comment down below. I am taking video requests as well, so make sure to put them there as well. Like and subscribe, please. It really means a lot to show your support. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video.